It's quite literally. You're seeing my reaction right now. Uh, I don't want to be here. um, I guess we'll get into it. We'll soon get into it, but man, dang, dang. What up, Suns fans? Suns lose second game of their back-to-back to. I don't even want to say it. Listen, the Suns are their own team. They could lose to anyone they want to. But out of everyone, it had to be the Charlotte Hornets. The the 7-win Charlotte Hornets, the 10 losing streak Charlotte Hornets, the same Charlotte Hornets that aren't much different from last year that we beat and swept the season series. I hope I'm giving off like I'm not mad. I'm disappointed vibes here because I really am. This is a night. This is a night. Um, this intro has gone on for way too long. Hornets win 115, Suns 104. We'll get into it.
Gorgeous move from Bradley Beal.
Personally, I feel like that brother needed help.
Devin Booker with the clutch three.
Well, most of us Suns fans really hoped for a change in the last few days, with Bill and Nurk going to the bench and last night's win against the 76ers, it really looked like things were going to be turning around for the Suns. And we hopefully wished that would only continue into this game. Why wouldn't it? Hornets, 7-win team, 10-game losing streak. Haven't won a game since mid the 8th of December. Well, I guess the one thing we can glean from this, in any attempt to save this, is that Booker looks good. I'm wearing his jersey tonight. It's been a while since I have, and honestly, it looked good. After last night's concerning effort from Book and his like poor shooting numbers, he really did come out tonight and was able to turn things around for himself, and he was pretty hot out there. 39 points on the night, pretty good efficiency shooting, 10 assists, so he got the double double along with 6 rebounds. Um, and somehow it was a +2. Don't know how that really works out, but he is probably one of the only positives that you can glean from tonight. From really just a mess. Like, there's only so much digging through the garbage until you just can't find anything out of it, and that's what this game is a garbage pile. Suns came out looking good that first quarter. Uh, Honestly, they sh- they were good. They looked fine. They were hitting. Book was looking good. They were playing great defense against the Hornets. The Hornets started the game 9% shooting, and the only time they did make a basket was off of a Hail Mary throw that Brandon Miller threw up. So Book was looking good. Um, other, that first quarter, very much now like a red herring looking back at it, as we didn't know how bad it would get. Um, but I mean, I guess there was warning signs that we could find in that first quarter. As really, here's the thing: So Suns, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the starting lineup again. All right, second game that we've had this new starting lineup with Dunn replacing Beal in the lineup and Plumlee replacing Nurk. So this is our second game into that. I didn't want. I tried to emphasize me as long as with like other Suns uh, influencers, I guess. Uh, uh, don't take it like get. I try not to get overhyped over that first win, right? Because the Suns are still very overflawed. Just because we changed the starting lineup doesn't mean the Suns are going to be championship contenders right now. Um, so the key word that I tried to emphasize in last night was the fact to not get overhyped about this. All right, the Suns are still very flawed, and one of those issues was very prevalent tonight is that starting not starting but center rotation that the Suns have. It is really bad now. Honestly, it's a worse problem than anything else we have. Defense has been a huge problem that I've consistently brought up from the Suns. But right now, it looks so much worse that that our center defense, center rotations, that is becoming a way bigger issue as we could not get any stops on the Hornets. Anytime they just really got into the paint, it was over. And it was always a foul after foul. And that was a major issue why the Suns let this one get away from them, giving over 29 free throws to the Charlotte Hornets. And they ended up making 26 of those, 98% free throw percentage, as the Suns only got 19 free throw attempts, and made 18. So they were 94% from the free throw line. But the fact that the Suns couldn't get a stop on uh, Charlotte's bigs, Mark Williams, really long. Uh, I mean, really, they just fed him the ball in that paint every time, and as long as he went up strong, he was gonna guaranteed get it every time. And Nick Richards, who also played crazy, he was huge for the Hornets bench. 15 points, 12 rebounds, a double double, and a 23 plus, a plus 23 for his whole team every time he was out there. Now, there's been a lot of talk recently about the Suns possibly getting Nick Richards. So, tryout. Nick Richards does look like he would be nice. He would definitely be better than anything we have right now that uh, is either Plumlee or Nurkic or Oso. Oso, uh, let's just get into that center rotation. Oso only played 6 minutes tonight, and he looked really ineffective out there. Apparently, we didn't like what we saw that 6 minutes that he was out there, as he didn't really do much to stop Nick Richards or Mark Williams. Um, he got a lot of he got a lot of attempts in that 6 minutes. He had like three um, shots where he could lay it up or do that push shot that he likes to do. None of that went in. Mason Plumlee is pretty much the biggest highlight of tonight. He didn't have a single point to his name, but he had 13 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. He had 20 minutes out there. He only took one shot the entire night. And it was quite literally the worst shot I've ever seen. Mason Plumlee, he's not good at all for the Suns. Um, but it's kind of like a tier. Um, it's kind of hard to say, but like Mason Plumlee is bad. Let's get that out of straight. Yusuf Nurkic is bad. Let's get that out of the way. Oso was bad tonight. He can be good, but I don't think this is his situation to succeed against these bigger, more aggressive centers. So, out of those three terrible ones, Mason Plumley is the least terrible out of those three options. So that was kind of the situation for tonight. He was a plus 15. I don't know why we didn't go to him more. Uh, he really looks like the only thing that was working. But he still had his major flaws. As that one shot he had was practically a give me for a dunk, but he waited, wasn't aggressive on it, didn't seize the opportunity, and he ended up making this like weird toss that he tried doing, and it was awful. Yusuf Nurkic, we'll talk about him for a second. 19 minutes, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, one steal, one block. 2 of 3 from the arc. Okay. Minus 22 out there. It's major. I attribute this center rotation the Suns have to a major reason why the Suns uh, let the Charlotte Hornets just punk them like this. As not only did the Charlotte Hornets uh, really turn things around in the second quarter with with rebounding, uh, uh, the the Charlotte Hornets ended tonight with 59 rebounds. That is a 17 rebound advantage in their favor. And that is, oh my God, that's a 12 offensive rebound advantage. The Charlotte Hornets got 20 offensive rebounds while the Suns only got 8. Yep, Suns can't rebound. And as much as our centers tried, that was not that they weren't getting anything. And also like the Hornets were hustling a lot more. There's many times tonight where LaMelo Ball was able to just make magic where he would miss a shot, uh, dive into like three Suns players and somehow still get the ball up and one. So that's just another free throw and another issue with the Suns. Rebounding and efforts, huge problems tonight. This can't really continue as being the Suns. As being the Suns team, this center rotation is pathetic in every word of it. Um, off my team. Get this off my team. Okay. I think I sidetracked here a little more than I thought. Um, but back to what I was getting at here. Starting lineup, right? I was gonna attack this point, and then I just went on a whole rant about the center rotation. But the starting lineup, right, is good. Okay, it was quite obvious from the statistics that it was doing good. It was always a plus when we threw out Ryan Dunn instead of Bradley Beal out onto the court. You know, this lineup of Beal, Tyus, Dunn, Ryan Dunn, KD, and Mason Plumlee or Yusuf Nurkic is really kind of interchangeable. Um, it's always a plus. It's always better. But it's I've made it very clear that that starting lineup that we used to run with Beal and Yusuf Nurkic in was one of our worst lineups. Um, I don't know what it is, but even the fact that we have now changed it, made this big move, Mike Boltenhoser is still clutching onto the pass. He is still shooting himself in the foot. The stats say that that lineup, our old starting lineup, is a negative every time we throw it out there. But it's only 2 games. But for these last 2 games, we had like solid 6 minutes where our new starting lineup was able to get the ball rolling and get going. And let me mind you that that starting lineup got us out to a I don't have the numbers, but it was like a 10-3 start for the Suns. Charlotte Hornets 9%. That is our new starting lineup. That is the good numbers. And then guess what? Halfway through the first quarter, Mike Bultenhoser subbed in Beal for Dunn, therefore swapping us back into our old starting lineup. And it was from that moment on that the Hornets started to get back into the game. Uh, what? These lineups are still hurting us, even though we should be celebrating with this new lineup. Mike Bullnozer is still not learning anything. These are bad lineups. You do not put that starting lineup back in. It's obvious from literally how the Suns handled all tonight. And he went to that lineup multiple times tonight. And that's the thing I am frustrated about. We should never put that lineup back out there again. I don't care that we spent like 100, that Matt Ish spent like 100 mil, 150 mil just to put that lineup out there. It is bad. It's a bad product. All right. And that is a major reason these questionable lineups, and also just running three guard lineups. I mean, Charlotte, like I said, Mark Williams, Nick Richards, big guys, aggressive guys, really strong guys. So imagine trying to defend that with three guards that are like below 6'5". You're going to get a lot of fouls and you're not going to be able to rebound that much. And offensive rebounds are going to be such a huge issue. And look what happened tonight. Yeah, well, that's just how the Suns are built. Um, and it is a major reason why they ended up losing tonight's game in such an embarrassing effort. Wasting such a good book game. Like from you look at it and it's like Book was the only one trying out there. 39 points. KD, I mean, he still went out there, got his 26 points. So I guess you can't fault him for that. It's better than not having 26 points. Um, Ryan Dunn played some great defense in that energy, but that shot needs to start falling, man. Um, he cannot become another Josh Okogie where he cannot hit that 3 points. I just, wasn't it like a thing? I might be just curating this out of my head, but I swear I saw something about like Ryan Dunn to begin the start of this season. He had like a pretty good 3 point shooting percentage to start the season, and he was asked about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I do like 200, 300 shots in the gym trying to prepare for this." Yeah, he's gonna need a little bit more of that because going 0 of 4, especially when we really need the momentum out there sometimes, and if he's going to continue being a starter, he needs to knock that down. He needs to find that shot consistently. Um, but I mean, as a rookie, it's kind of hard to ask that much out of him. So that's a developing issue. Still, mainly, it's a little problem compared to the Suns' rebounding and size and the, all their guards, the guard lineups that make them so small. Those are a bigger issue than Dunn hitting his threes, but it's still a little thing to nitpick here from the Suns about. Tyus Jones, 4 points. Something happened to Tyus, dude. I'm looking at Tyus in a different light. I was really pushing to re-sign him earlier this season because he was like such a great role player, and his layups, his famous layup, was always pretty hard to defend. But Mark Williams and Nick Richards proved me wrong in that, right? As Tyus Jones just really looked ineffective out there. And honestly, my opinion's starting to change on the guy. Um, Maybe let's not re-sign him. We've effectively made him useless out there. I mean, he's a point guard. He's not known for his defense. Um, we don't definitely put the ball in his hands all the time. So there's really no purpose or reason why we brought him here, which in the first place was because of his assist to turnover ratio, so we don't turn over the dang ball. But even then, Tyus Jones ended the night with 4 assists, 1 turnover. Devin Booker 10 assists, 3 turnovers. So he's not even holding the ball that much. He's not even control of the ball that much. Being a point guard, it's more so the big three still handling the ball. So other than that, no defense, no point guard duties, no sharing the ball, no setting up the play. What is he really here in Phoenix to do other than to shoot the ball? And that's what he has been being forced to play, or being used as these last couple of games, as a spot up shooter, corner shooter, all that kind of thing. And it's even worse these games where you have Charlotte's long arms and they take away his layups, so he becomes even more ineffective on offense. And honestly, the same goes for Monte Morris here, um, who 15 minutes put up 2 points. So kind of Charlotte really locked down our point guards. So it was pretty quiet nights from both of them. So that's our starting lineup. Getting into our bench here, we have our new six-man Bradley Bill, who came in. I, we need a new lineup, man. Bill's our six-man, but he can't come in and immediately have us go back into our old starting lineup. That lineup just doesn't work. He needs to come in at like some for someone else, or like have it. Don't have him come in for Dunn. Have him come in for Tyus. At that point, that would be a better lineup. Um, but after Bradley Bill's explosive 26 points that he had last night, he only scored 10 outs out here tonight, going 5 of 13, 5 assists. And honestly, it just in a funny way, he swapped roles with Devin Booker, uh, as Devin Booker was terrible last night, and it was kind of partially his fault of not being that aggressive on the ball or with the ball, but also is a problem of him, just being unlucky, as most of those shots would go in and go out. So it was unlucky. The shots weren't going in as much, and honestly, that curse fell to Bill tonight, as many of his shots that first half were just not going in. There was a lid on the basket, and Bradley Bill could not break through it. Although he got his occasional shots to go in. I mean, I think he has the same stat line as Book did last night. Although Book had only 3 made shots, Beal had 5 made shots out of 13 attempts. He had 10 points. So they both ended with the same amount of points. Um, Frustrating. I guess I just chalk it up to being a back to back. I don't know. It just seemed like the boys didn't come out with much effort tonight, so I just naturally assumed that, like, oh, maybe they partied too hard about last night's win, and they just didn't get that much sleep. So it's a shame. There's really no one else to talk about on the bench here. I already talked about Yusuf Nurkic and Oso and Monte, and now Bradley Bill. Grayson Allen played 25 minutes, 9 points. Not too much to say about Grayson Allen, uh, other than he kind of joins the bench as in being like the major factor that made the bench so bad. Our bench was bad. Bradley Bill minus 21 out there every time he touched the floor. Yusuf Nurkic minus 22 out there, and Grayson Allen's minus 17. So all three of them, pretty much of our biggest bench guys, all were a negative every time they touched the field. And those guys played heavy minutes. So bad night for the bench. And then other than Grayson Allen, Not much. We didn't see that much of a Josh Okogie, which is confusing because I would assume that he would replace Ryan Dunn, although he did not. Bradley Bill would take those minutes, or Grayson Allen, and that's our whole bench. It's a frustrating game. It's definitely frustrating, and I think I've calmed down after I've let out my talk about this. I definitely came into this episode a little more frustrated than I normally would, but I think I've highlighted the points well enough that this is what's stopping the Suns. Um, yeah. So disappointing night. Suns now fall to 16-19. Sorry, 16-19 on the season, and yeah, this should have been a win against such an unfortunate Charlotte's Hornets team. But that's just the Suns. Yeah, there's not much else to say here other than let's just try to pick ourselves back up next game. All right. So next game is going to be on Thursday. We have a day break here on January 9th, and that will be when we return home to the Valley in Footprint Center against the Atlanta Hawks. So that one's also scary as the Atlanta Hawks are, I would consider, a lot better than the Charlotte Hornets. They're more put together. So that should be concerning to do. Um, So yeah, that's about it for me. I'm tired from doing these back to back games. So we'll end it here. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, comment. It really helps the channel. And we'll be back here for tomorrow for more on Thursday when the Suns take on the Atlanta Hawks. All right, take care of yourself, guys. Don't let the loss. Don't let the Suns loss disappoint you. All right. Enjoy yourselves.
Kevin Durant.